Check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. I'm out here at the park. So this video is going to be about the law of polarity. I'm going to try to go through it fairly quick so it ain't no super long drawn out video. Because some of these things, like, you can kind of just talk forever about. The law of polarity. This is one of the 7 videos I'm discussing the 7 Hermetic principles, more commonly known today as the Universal Laws. So the law of polarity states that everything is dual. Everything has its own pair of opposites. The opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. One extreme is no better than the other. So, opposites are identical in nature, but vary in degree. What does that mean? That means basically we're talking about 2 ends of the spectrum. So polarity means in order to have an up, there must be a down. Can't have a high without a low. In order for right to exist, that means left has to exist. The old saying that you can't have the good without the bad. We're talking about duality and everything being dual. You got a right hand, a left hand, right? Right side of your brain, left side of your brain. There's God and there's the devil, right? One is up high in heaven where you ascend to. And the other is down low in hell where you descend to. This is literally the whole myth, the whole story about the God and the devil is literally describing duality and the law of polarity. It's literally describing the energy that dwells within you. It's literally describing the way this entire reality is structured. Here in this universe, we are trapped in polarity. Search for the middle point because one extreme is not any better than the other. Would you rather be burned to death or freeze to death? I'd imagine that one extreme isn't going to be any more pleasant than the other. Opposites being only different in degree. You don't want to be too hot or too cold, right? It's that middle point that you search for. It's that middle point where we find peace. The powers that be have been aware and manipulating the way society functions by using our ignorance of polarity against us. So, being here, the creators of this place, we're already trapped in polarity on a universal level. But even on the individual conscious level, you see it's you Republican or Democrat, you Blood or Crip, right? Every movie, there's a good guy versus a bad guy. And before the movie ends, you will find yourself rooting for one or the other. This is the trap. You see, they put the man against the woman against the man, right? Get on the internet, you see, like, we don't even, all you'll see is females talking shit about males and males talking shit about females, right? They put straight against gay. When it's like you can't just be neutral on the matter, right? If you say you're not for, as in an advocate of gay culture, you're automatically labeled as a homophobe, right? You're the problem, that's evil, you know what I'm saying? Because you have to be either one way or the other. So they lead you to believe. Because when you choose the middle and you say, I'm for them and I'm for them, they say, nah, you a fence straddler, right? You're the worst kind. Or if you choose the middle and say, I don't give a fuck, you're definitely the worst kind, right? Because you don't care. You're the problem. Consciousness, a pure consciousness, resides at the middle point. Once you start swaying too much to one end or the other, that just means you're operating in the ego. And we live in a materialistic world. So I'm not saying like operating in the ego, as in the ego is bad, because you're not, I mean, we live through our egos here. We live through our conscious mind. You know what I'm saying? That's what keeps us from jumping in a bathtub of extremely hot boiling water. You know what I'm saying? Is our ego that says, hell no, nigga, that's too hot. Let that cool down. You know what I'm saying? Our conscious mind is designed for us to be able to survive here, right? It's our conscious mind that tells us, no, don't do that. Or, yeah, that's a good idea. The ego, its job literally is survival. So I don't say that in a way that some people would, because again, with polarity, a lot of times they say it's operating the spirit, not the ego. You know what I'm saying? It's all the same. And they put it's spirit versus ego and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? When the idea seems to rise above or beyond polarity itself. The When I talk about the middle point, so here's an example, right? Since every year you go vote, right? Did you vote Democrat or did you vote Republican? These people know the game. So for ignorant people who's on the outside looking in, these two parties appear to always be at war, to always be fighting. They always appear to have two totally separate agendas. This is how they appear. This is the game. And the ultimate thing is that both of these parties are working for the same system. No matter how much they appear to be at war, they work together to fulfill the overall agenda of the system. Period. However, that is the magic. That is what we are supposed to do. Instead of picking one, always having one go to war with the other, the idea isn't to fight against the opposite side. The idea is to integrate the two ends together. So to where they to where these opposites are operating in harmony. That's when God shows up. Um so when you're wanting to manifest something, usually that means that you are trying to reach the polar side of a certain reality. If you don't have money, then the polarity of that reality is a reality where you have money. So typically, if you're trying to manifest something, it means you are trying to move into the opposite polarity, right? In that case, what you want to do is start to integrate the opposite into your life. As I said before, you are trying to match that vibration. You're trying to meet that frequency and pull it in closer to you. So, think about the things you need to focus on that polarity, right? I'll try to give an example. You're wanting to open up and have your own restaurant, a successful restaurant, and you don't right now, right? So you imagine this polar reality where you do have a restaurant, right? So when I say you want to start integrating things from that reality into your life, meaning you can focus on some habits. I'll try to keep it simple. You can focus on some habits that you would have if you were actually living if you actually had your own restaurant, right? Focus on things that you will be doing differently in that reality, and you pull them into your reality now. So if you are operating a successful restaurant, it probably means you're going to be up and at it early in the morning, right? And say like right now you be sleeping till like noon. So you will probably want to start setting your alarm clock earlier now and start getting up early in the morning. Because that's what you are doing in that reality. This is what I mean by like start integrating things from that reality into your current reality. Um, most people problem is money. A lot of people problem is that they just ain't got money. Period. Like as soon as you get it, it go right out. So it's all the same. I think I know who that is. So you wanna focus on that reality in the reality where you have money at. See yourself, see what you'll be doing different in that world. Um, if it makes you have to be more social, you have to deal with a lot more people, right? So start being more social now. If it is going to involve you having to study a lot more, study certain things, then start studying those things now. You know what I'm saying? Is you're trying to match the vibration of that reality, of that polarity. Anyway, I feel like I done over talked it for real. I wasn't planning on talking this long. So I'm gonna get up out for here. I do feel I probably could have did a better job explaining if I really took the time to thought about it and wrote some stuff down, but I ain't got time for all of that. If you ain't familiar, if you really want to get in to see what it's about, then just start studying it and learning about it. And because the polarity, it exists in everything we do and in everything we are here in this place. Um, with every positive thought attached to it is going to be the negative thought. Like, to become the middle point is the ultimate aim. Um, when you neutral, it's harder for people to manipulate your emotions by pulling you to one side or the other. Because before you know it, you be trying to fight to carry out so many different agendas, trying to be loyal to somebody else's cause. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that.